Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of breath technique training, or excuse me, breath technique challenge. So this challenge is actually a peek into the techniques that you can get in breath technique training. And if you don't know, breath technique training is where you can learn over 60 different breathing techniques aimed for all different types of results, to where you're changing your psychology, so your thoughts, your physiology, your blood chemistry, your emotions, and also even through your anatomy and your energy and your behaviors. So if you're here, hi Sophia, hi Kelly. If you're here live, just give me a little pop in the comments, and that way I can just know who's here and who's breathing with me. And also know throughout this whole challenge, if you have any questions about the techniques, don't ever hesitate to pop them in the comments. If I don't catch them live, I will definitely answer them afterwards. But today's breathing technique that we're going to be doing is for relaxation. So a lot of times our nervous system is bouncing between our sympathetic and our parasympathetic. So yesterday in day 1, we did a breathing technique for energy. And make sure that if you want to enter to win your spot to breath technique training, that you watch day 1 and you feel out the technique, see how it works for you. And then also, you want to make sure too that when you're doing these breathing techniques, you kind of do a little check-in beforehand. So maybe you're just do I need more energy? What's my energy level at this point? And then when you do the breathing technique, you can feel wow, that works for me. So, or maybe you feel it didn't do the thing that I thought it was going to do. So I always like to call breathing techniques like prescriptions almost. Each one has a different effect to each individual's body chemistry. So you got to think if you were to get on a medication, not everybody with the exact same ailment is going to get on the exact same dosage or even on this exact same brand of medication. So you want to be mindful too of when you go through breathing techniques to know that I know it sounds like it's just breathing, but there's so many variables both inside of you and also how you do the breathing technique. So with all of that said, the breathing technique that we're going to do today is a combination of a couple of different techniques. So we're going to be doing a dual blow and ventilation. So those are 2 different techniques, but we're going to be doing it in what's known as a Vashamavritti. So we're putting 3 different breathing techniques together, and it's not as tricky as it sounds, but I want you to pay attention to the speed of the breath as it comes out, especially on the exhalation. I want you to pay attention to the volume, so the amount of air that's coming out. I want you to think of the pressure that's behind it. So is it high pressure or is it really low pressure? And also the duration. So how long is it taking for you to release that amount of volume of air? So it's a lot of things to think about, and all of these are going to have different effects on your chemistry and the effects of the breathing technique. I'm going to recommend that you find a comfortable seat for this one. If you're really having one of those days where you're like, man, I just need to really relax and bring it out, you can always do this laying down. But this one doesn't have too many or no real strong contraindications, so you don't have to worry about, is this breathing technique right for me? Again, if you have questions, pop them in the comments. But this blow technique is going to be the first half. Then we're going to do the ventilation. We're going to hold our breath for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to go into the in-breath, which is going to be a 2-part breath of breathing into your belly and then breathing into your back body. And when I ask people to breathe into their back, it's usually I get the deer in headlights look, what? They don't have that feeling and that sensation. So even though you're breathing with your primary muscle of your thoracic diaphragm, you're also breathing with your secondary muscles of your intercostals. You can use all of the muscles in your trunk to really expand or contract to change the ability of the lungs to open or compress more. So when I say breathe into your back, I really do mean obviously not the air is going into your low back, but you're really expanding through your low back to try to help your lungs be able to expand a little more. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. So I'll give you a little demo before we start. You're going to start by breathing out what's a blow technique. So the tongue is not obstructing the airflow. You just purse your lips, and that's going to be half of the amount of air for the exhale. And then you're going to do a ventilation. So you're going to move the tongue to obstruct the airflow. And this is creating a little bit more pressure, also a little more audibility. It'll look a little something like. So your exhale is half blow, half ventilation. Then you're going to breathe into half of your low belly. You'll use your nose. Then the remaining air is going to breathe into your low and mid back. And then you're going to hold your breath for 2 seconds. And this is like a long 2, like a 1, 2, and then it's half blow. Once you feel you're about halfway empty, then it's half ventilation. And then we'll repeat the technique. So, hi everybody, yay. So if you're ready to breathe with me, just take a moment, sit. If it feels okay, you can close your eyes. And I want you to just, as best as you can, take an assessment of your energy level. Do you feel a little scattered? Do you feel super grounded? Do you feel like you need a little more relaxation? Could you be more relaxed? Just kind of feel that internal gauge. Then you'll just take a few reset breaths. So you'll start to blow all the breath out, empty out. Flare your nostrils, take a really big deep breath in. Try to get an extra sniff at the top. Breathe out from the nose, nice and slow. You'll do one more like that. Breathe more breath out with your lips. Big deep breath in. Get an extra sniff with your nose. Just release a sigh. All right, when you're ready, use your nose. Breathe in halfway to your belly. Breathe the remaining half into your low back and middle back. Hold your breath here. 2, 1. Purse your lips, slowly blow. Move the tongue so you can start to ventilate. Use your nose, breathe into your belly. The remaining half of air into your low back. Hold your breath here. Try to relax the shoulders. Purse your lips, slow and gentle blow. Remaining half of air ventilates. Breathe into your low belly. Breathe into the low back. Hold the breath in. Blow the first half of air out. Ventilate the remaining half. We'll do a few more. Just notice the differences that are shifting. Inhale, low belly. Inhale, low back. Hold your breath in. Blow the first half a bit of air out. Ventilate the remaining half. Breathe in low belly. Breathe in low back. Hold it. Take a swallow. Blow the first half out. Ventilate the remaining half. We'll do just one more together. Breathe in low belly, a little slower. Breathe in low back, a little slower. Hold the breath. Try to reduce the speed, increase the duration. Blow the breath out. Ventilate the remaining half. Take a deep breath in. Extra sniff. And heavy sigh. So just kind of take another assessment, notice any differences, any shifts. If you noticed a difference, pop it in the comments. I'm really interested to see if this shifted you a little downshift into the nervous system to where you feel a little more relaxed. The neat thing about the techniques that we're combining here is that depending on your CO2 tolerance, they're going to have different effects. So if you have a high CO2 tolerance, meaning that you have really good lung capacity, typically you're pretty good at being able to hold your breath without a strong sense of urge of breathing right away, you usually will handle anxiety a little better, then you're going to be able to extend your exhales, both the blow and the ventilation, to go a lot longer, and you might be able to dip yourself a little deeper with those longer exhales, meaning of duration. Well, those of you who might have a lower CO2 tolerance, like maybe you don't do a lot of breathing techniques, maybe you have something like emphysema or something going on to where you just feel like, oh, I just don't have that great CO2 tolerance, then you might notice that lengthening the exhale for a long time can actually give you a little bit of anxiety. So the blow technique is a traditional pranayama, and we don't use a lot of exhalations out from the mouth, so that's one of the few. And then the ventilation is a technique from freediving. So freediving is a great way to learn how to not only increase your CO2 tolerance, but really be able to control your heart rate using your breath and some like mental capacities. It's also really fun if you want to swim with like fish and dolphins and all the things. But then the Vishamavritti is where we're taking different times through each section of the breath. So we have 4 main sections. We're thinking of our inhalation, our retention, which is when we hold the breath in, our exhalation, and our suspension, which is when we hold the breath out. So all of these are going to have different effects. And I hope you noticed something neat. Let's see. Oh, so Sophia says she felt a little dizzy for a short time, and that's kind of a cue that maybe you want to go a little less long. So you're starting to extend your breathing pattern a little longer maybe than what you're used to. So you want to allow yourself to just shorten it and allow yourself to get the exhalation out a little quicker, not so much as harder in the sense, but just a little faster, and then see if that changes the effects. Let's see, feeling more grounded. Yay, Kelly, awesome. Hi, Edward. Hannah's feeling more calmer and at ease. Too cool. Eric, feeling tranquil and collected. Yes. Awesome. So I'm so glad that this is having different effects for you all and that you're feeling a shift. And that's the most important thing that I really like to get across, is that your breath is so powerful. Like, it legitimately is the gears and the levers and the dials that you can play with to shift your body chemistry in completely different states, and can shift your mindset into completely different states. And a lot of times too, if you have low back problems and you're not doing a lot of different breathing techniques, you're working out your thoracic diaphragm, which is going to maybe help create more space for back problems. So you're changing your anatomy. I actually have scoliosis, and I've like used breathing techniques to help reset my spine in many ways. And it's just so fascinating. It's a deep rabbit hole that I could sit here and talk about forever. But instead of doing that, I'm going to invite you to keep joining me at noon every day for the rest of this week, and I'll be going over a bunch of different breathing techniques. Tomorrow's breathing technique, we're going to go over effort. So if you're an athlete, I actually will really use the one that we're going to do tomorrow when I like to run or when I'm working out. And even if you're not an athlete, if you just like, man, I can't get the effort that I need to put forth to do this task, this is going to be a really great breathing technique for you to hang out or to check out tomorrow. And remember, if you're doing this breath technique challenge, that you have the opportunity to win your seat into breath technique training. Breath technique training is going to start August 16th, and it's 6 weeks. It's all online. So make sure that you pop your email into the link in the description so that you officially register and that you get all the information of what it's going to take so that you can win your spot. And if you missed day one, the link for day one is also in the description, so you can check that out. And yeah, I just hope that you're really enjoying your breath, and don't hesitate to ask any questions. I hope that I'll be able to answer them for you. And don't forget to just check in with your breath every so often. It really does make a difference. Thank you so much for breathing with me. I sincerely appreciate it, and I can't wait to breathe with y'all tomorrow. Bye.